Vallarta is one of Mexico's most popular destinations for snowbirds. People flock there to soak up the sun when it's too cold back home. In this video, I'm sharing some of the fun activities you can do in the city, most of which are free. This is part of our Puerto Vallarta series, so I'll link the other videos where you can join us for a taco tour, a Mexican cooking class, and an epic day out on the water. There's nothing like getting a bird's eye view of the place you're visiting, so let's start with a lookout point that gives sweeping views of the city. You have to climb those steps if you want to get that view, right? Oh my god. Wow. Look at this water! This gorgeous lookout point is called Mirador Matamoros. And from here, the best part for me is that you can see the beautiful old church with the incredible crown on the top. And we're in the middle of the centro historico, the old city. So you can see how this residential part behind us with the tiled roofs, with the Sierra Madre mountains over there, just kind of tumbles down towards the water. And you have the incredible water over here. I mean, this is not a color that I feel like this is the color that every artist tries to paint and can never truly capture the way that nature does. I mean, look at those colors. Amazing place to get a really good sense of the layout of the city, especially of the old part of the city. Look at behind you how it just curves around there and you can see beach all the way around.
It's amazing.
This lookout used to be a lighthouse. Built in 1932, its light helped ships find their way through the Bay of Banderas for more than 40 years. It's not a far walk to get to it, and the views of the historic center, the crown at the top of the church, and the stunning blue bay are worth the climb. If you walk downhill towards the water, you can practically follow your nose to the Chocolate Museum. We're down here at the Malecon in Puerto Vallarta. You can hear the ocean, and we're at the Choco Museo. Of course, Mexico is the land of chocolate, and I am about to do a chocolate workshop. The workshop is a really fun and hands-on way to learn about not only chocolate production, but the culture and history of chocolate in Mexico. You learn about where in the world it's grown, as well as the ways it's processed. I like that they showed the traditional methods of production, and even let Mark have a try at it, as well as talking about how those methods have changed in modern times. Then the fun really gets started when you get to suit up in your own apron and hat and get down to the business of making your own chocolate. If you've seen my other videos, you know that I love cooking and learning about food, so this was a real treat. We got to see the whole process from start to finish, including making our own hot chocolate and individual chocolates to take home. I flavored mine with sea salt and ginger, two of my favorites. I feel like this would be an especially great activity for families with kids, too. We roasted the cocoa beans and then I got to grind them, and we just made chocolates in our own little molds. And we put a whole bunch of stuff on top, and now it's going to set in the fridge. The workshop lasts around 2 hours, and at the end, not only had we learned something, but we had self-made chocolates to take home as souvenirs. While our chocolate was setting in the fridge, we looked around the Choco Museo shop, which is full of other souvenirs for chocolate lovers. Not only is there plenty of actual chocolate, but also lots of chocolate-inspired soap, body products, pasta, and shirts that say, "Save the Earth, it's the only planet with chocolate." When you need to walk off the sugar high, I recommend heading towards River Cuale Island or Isla Rio Cuale to slow down. One of my favorite places in Puerto Vallarta for shopping is River Cuale Island. It's this small little part of the city right next to the river, so it feels like a bit of an oasis with the birds, and it's very lush, and this is a great place to get souvenirs or handicrafts or get a bite to eat in the middle of the city. It just feels really nice and calm here. You can hear the river and the beautiful flags, the Papa Picado above. It's such a nice place to just come and browse. Find lots of goodies to take home. Oh, maybe not that. I think we can find something a little more Puerto Vallarta. Of course, all sorts of Mexican blankets, t-shirts, everything Frida Kahlo you could imagine. I love all the Frida stuff. These are so cute. There's no mistaking Frida. As a kid with the name Eileen, I could never find my name really on anything. So I'm kind of a sucker for anything that has like an E, and I always look for my name still everywhere. Who else is like that? I think River Cuale Island is a fun little spot that feels shady and lush, especially when you're craving a break from the heat. One of the activities we did that kind of took me by surprise was an art walk. Before visiting, I didn't realize there were so many galleries and works of public art in Puerto Vallarta. Walking around, you'll notice lots of sculptures and murals, and the art walk is wonderful because you get to hear the stories and the inspiration behind them. I'm in an art gallery right now that's owned by a Canadian man actually named Kevin Simpson, who turns out went to university in my hometown, which is a pretty cool connection. And he's lived in Puerto Vallarta for a very long time. This is his gallery. I have learned so much about different types of art, about indigenous art and kind of the contemporary Mexican art scene. And he, along with a bunch of other galleries in Puerto Vallarta, run, they call an art walk every Wednesday from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. where they basically give you a tour of some of the art around the city, the sculptures, and tell you the stories and the symbolism behind them, as well as taking you to some of the different galleries, including this one. I have learned so much from Kevin. If you're interested in art or indigenous and Mexican culture, then definitely try to check out the art walk when you're in Puerto Vallarta. Kevin's passion is obvious, and his knowledge of art and culture is thorough. He was a fantastic guide, and I really enjoyed exploring his gallery. You often see these kinds of hearts, corazon, around Mexico, and something I didn't realize is that these little symbols here were actually used to take to the church to pray. So, for example, you see like a picture of an arm here. That would be someone who is having like pain in their arm, and so they would take this to the church to pray for the pain in their arm. And so all of these little symbols represent the prayers of people going to the church. Some of the art walk takes place down by the water on the stretch of pathway called the Malecon. There's not only lots of art to be found there, but also great views of the city and the water. Walking along the Malecon in Puerto Vallarta is a definite must. It's this beautiful stretch of walkway that goes all along the shoreline. There's so many different vantage points, and it kind of winds its way along. It's not straight, and so you see different parts of the city as you go, and the mountains, different views. See the rocks down below. There's different pieces of art, sculptures you can see, and there really is just nothing better than strolling along the Malecon here. It's just lovely. The Malecon is also where you'll find the Puerto Vallarta sign. Getting your photo with the Puerto Vallarta sign is a definite must. Strolling along the Malecon, you'll see different people selling a traditional Puerto Vallarta drink called a Tuba, which I definitely recommend you pick up as you're walking. Highly recommend trying one of the local specialties in Puerto Vallarta called a Tuba. This drink is made with the heart of the coconut palm, as well as pecan nuts and apples, and it has a slightly fizzy taste. Super refreshing, nice and cold. And if you come down to the Malecon, stroll along, you are sure to find someone selling tuba. So, cheers! Something else you don't want to miss at the Malecon is seeing the Totonaco indigenous flyers mark the solar calendar, which they do every day. There are 4 flyers who do 13 rotations around the pole to symbolize how the Earth goes around the sun. 4 times 13 is 52, which represents the weeks of the year. Puerto Vallarta has a lot to offer, and I hope you've enjoyed seeing some of the things you can enjoy there, even if you only have one day. I'll link our other videos below in the description box if you'd like to see more of what you can get up to, as well as videos about the cute beach town of Sayulita, which is very close by. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and remember to subscribe for more travel adventures. Thanks for watching!